Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Sunday live stream where, yes, today we're going to be rating all the special bots in the game. And I've seen a few people saying, well, that's a lot of bots. So I thought, it's a big task. I need some big help. So I've invited my good friend Tex to give us a hand. Say hello, Tex. Yeah, so first I want to say thank you for Tex for coming on the stream. Really appreciate it from the other side of the world. So, it was a bit of a task to sort of set this up. It's late night for me, early morning for Tex. So, appreciate getting up early and joining us. Tex is from Prisons of Light, part of the PAL family. Really good, knowledgeable player. And I could have got some other people in here, could have got some TF players in here maybe, but I thought, you know what, I want to get someone on here that's got a good opinion of the game, some good knowledge of the game, and maybe a bit of a difference of opinion of mine. We don't want people that's going to go, yeah, I agree, Wozza, I agree. We want a bit of conversation. We want to actually decide, between ourselves, who is godly in the game, who is good, who's situational, and who's not great. So yeah. And Tex has also got a training channel online. I know Line's not used widely on gaming, but it is for Transformers Earth Wars. A lot of people use Line chat. So if you want to join Tex's training rooms, I know one of them's pretty full. It's got 500 members, so it's no tiny room, guys. You know what I mean? And I'm in there, and I went in there first to try and maybe help Tex, but you know what? He doesn't need it, guys. Honestly, after listening to this guy, he knows what he's talking about. He's a top player. He's really knowledgeable, maybe even a bit more knowledgeable than me, believe it or not. Not blow my own trumpet, but I know a thing or two. But this guy knows his stuff. So yeah. So thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it, Tex. Yeah. So, yeah, do you want to go through the chat, say some hellos, get some shout out to maybe any power members that are in the chat? Yeah, yeah, cool. Just want to hit it off dead quick, saying well done for SG Soundwave being first in the stream. Shows a massive commitment. And yeah, SG Soundwave, Chris Lewis, thanks for being members, Rescue as well. We've also got some regulars like Matt Pole here, we've got Alpha Trion, Dash, Lord Avik, Stuck in Beta. Soldiers in the chat as well. Obviously, Grind Time, a good friend, and loads of people. And I don't want to go through all the hellos. They can't hear Tex. Why can they not hear you?
Yeah.
Let's try again. Oh, that's a bit of a fail in it. But yeah. Do you want to try
How's
again,
that? Is that better?
Tex? Well, that's a bit of a fail in it. Well, yeah.
We haven't went through the sound check.
We went for the sound check. It's coming through on my desktop, but yeah. But wow, such inspiring words. But guys, is it working now? I hope so because it's coming through on my end. But I hope it's coming through on to everyone else. Is it coming through? Because it's going to be a yeah. Grind times put better. Is it better for everyone? I've just changed a
Yeah,
quick
there we
sound
go.
setting. There you go. There you go. So yeah, do you want to do your quick
Good.
shout out again?
Yeah, for sure. Just want to say hello to the Power family and all of my guys. I mean, you guys hear me every day, but it's always good to have a bit of a conversation with Wozza. And yeah, got any questions? Put them on the chat.
Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. So yeah, like I said, a lot of special bots. So we've got to try and get through all these. But yeah, I mean, first off, we so prior to this, I tried to talk to Tex and say, right, let's just agree on like five godly bots that we say, yeah, yeah, we definitely agree these are godly. And honestly, we couldn't even start there. Straight off the bat, we're not arguing, but straight away we're disagreeing, saying like, "Well, I think this." I was like, "Really? You think that
Yeah.
guy's godly? No." And I thought, you know what? It's going to be a great stream. It really is because it's two massive difference in opinions. And talking, we actually found out that we actually play a lot the same, but a lot different, didn't we?
For sure. I think that's the big difference when selecting any bot or the way that you view it. It's how you use it as a team versus as a solo bot.
Yeah, and we've realised that Tex is very attacking, where I'm actually defensive in my play. But like you said earlier, if you get your 300, that's what
That's it.
matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So we're gonna kick off. I can see someone asking about the line chat. What we'll do, we'll get a link and put it in the description below after the stream. So don't forget to hit a like on the stream, obviously. And if you want to see more of Tex, you want to see more of these videos, then put it in the chat, guys, and let me know. But I know one of these rooms is full. the main room, but you said you got some other rooms as well. So
For
after the
sure. Yep.
stream, yeah, we'll get some links and we'll put it in the comments and people can join from there. Cool. Okay, so let's start. Let's hit it off the bat with the main man, Optimus Prime. Now, off lore, godly, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're not talking lore. We're not talking about,
Nope.
we're not reminiscing about G1, nothing about that. We're talking about in the game. So where would you put Optimus Prime in there? Godly,
Oh,
good, situational, or not great?
has to be in that situational. I mean, if you make a
Situational.
yeah, if you make a base that's rushable, like that's just what it is. That's all it's good for.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that if the Prime Rush worked to perfect effect, it might be good to Godly, but that overhanging, I think with the new mines maybe as well, I think is situation. I think some lower players might disagree with us. They might be saying, "What? You're crazy! I Prime Rush every base." But
Yeah.
yeah,
Good luck. Good luck in the top leagues doing that.
yeah. But I've seen some good replays where it is forgiving in pathing. So yeah, I think I agree with that. Situational, it can be good in certain teams. He's got good DPS, he's got good health, but that Prime Rush is just it's a deal breaker for me.
For sure. It's given how it's a little bit buggy to begin with, and not everyone
Yeah,
using it.
agreed. So we agree on the first one, but then it goes downhill from there. So the
Yeah.
next one we've got is Blaster. So where would you rate Blaster?
Look,
This is gonna be interesting.
I I'll put him in the good because I know that many people use him for obviously his minions and it's good sort of tank and has a lot of good options when it comes to the cores. But that's it because I'm a big RC kind of person, so I don't like how he summons and it doesn't pop up exactly where you need him, and it can really get you into trouble early.
Yeah, he has some pathing issues sometimes. I mean, I'd put him in Godly. I really would. But I'm going to jump ahead, but I'll do a deal with you here. So,
Yeah,
if you're going to put Blaster in good, we
yeah,
talked about Gnar.
we
So
did.
where would you put Gnar?
So for me, he kind of hits that godly point only because when you have a good bot that's both offense, defense, a good SA11, summons exactly where you want him, has a good G1 core, it's just insane like how powerful this guy becomes. Throw on the Lionizer combat and he wrecks a base. You got 7 sharks. It's just amazing.
Well, I was talking to Grindtime about this as well, about our different opinions of Blaster and Gnar, and I said the difference is that I don't throw Blaster's minions to attack something. What I do is I say, I'm getting hit from over there, I'm going to throw the minions at it. Doesn't matter if they go the full distance, that's a meat shield. It's like
Yeah.
putting up a sort of blockade. But the deal I'm going to put here is these two, because I think Blaster's godly, you think is good. I think Gnar's good, you think godly. So we're going to pair them. Do we
Yeah.
put them both godly? Do we put them both good?
Let, let's just put them both in good then because it's hard to
Okay,
put any bot in that god category that's perfect because there's always going to be a weakness to some bot.
maybe. Okay, let's jump back then. So Bumblebee. So where would you rate Bumblebee?
Pre SA11, I'd probably put him in situational, but I think he kind of finds his way into that good category now because of where the game's at. Everyone's got the anti-hack, got the other new build bots. Stuns made a big offensive game again, and so B's cheap. If you have the right combat, he's going to last quite a while. So we're talking like Flak, putting on Top Shot, pair up with Alchemist or whatever, and yeah, he's going to wreck some bases.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think he's hard to manage. I did post a thing to Yanis, and from what I could gather is, I think it's a bug, that when he's attacking outpost bots and combiners, it becomes a melee bot, and he's pushing it on and dying very, very quickly. And I'd
I
be
do remember you asking
interested,
that.
yeah, I'd be very interested to see if that is a bug and if that gets fixed. How? Because at the minute it's very hard to manage because he
Yeah,
runs off and dies very quickly. So if they fix that and it gives him that range back, it might be up here with his cost, maybe for two
yeah,
ability points plus two. But yeah, it can be quite hard to manage. So yeah, I'll compromise at good. Yeah, yeah. I know some
because
people risk you
well,
who don't rate them. So
when you're trying to put a bot into that situational sort of category, he's not situational. He's kind of like you've got him there to use multiple times,
yeah,
and it's not just for a situation like a pathing, a rush, or break a wall. He's there to constantly sort of on your walk team, chip away, give you a little area of exposure to just keep the team safe.
Yeah, if it's not the stun, it's the damage. Great cleanup bot, cheap, brilliant. But yeah. Okay, Grimlock. So lore-wise, obviously this guy be godly in terms of lore, but what
Yeah,
do you think? What do you think here?
I'm I'm putting him in the not great to be honest. I
I
don't.
agree. I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I was waiting to
but
see what you say first, but I kind of agree, sadly. It's a
I mean,
shame,
back in
but yeah.
yeah, I mean, look back in the HQ16 days. You put him with Hot Rod together to become a time trap breaker. But after Sludge just takes his spot. So,
Yeah, his speed for me is a big thing, and he's a
oh,
bit of
that
a
was the
glass
other thing.
cannon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit of a glass cannon for me. We think of Grimlock, you think, oh, he's so big in the lore and so strong, and he is, but in the lore, he's massively strong and massively
yeah.
powerful. But you didn't get that in Earthward. I think they sort of missed the trick there. They did that with Optimus, but not with Grimlock, and I think for that reason, just yeah.
It's also interesting that he's the only one. He doesn't have a two-star version.
I know it's a bit weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not putting him in not great because of that. Let's just get that cleared up.
No.
He's not great because he hasn't got a two-star version.
Yeah.
Windblade and who's Windblade's counterpart?
Situational.
Some people are saying Wind. I'm trying to remember the con Slipstream. No, it's not Slipstream. That's Air
Dive
Raid.
bomb.
Dive bomb. Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, situational. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for sacks.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Other than a sack, I wouldn't use her ever.
Nope.
But she has good range. She has good damage. But I'm one of these people that likes to keep the bots together. Like a walk, or a sack. So as a sack, I can see her being, a situational bot and useful, but not for me.
No.
Interesting one. Rust Dust. So where's
Same
got
as
Rust Dust?
B. He's to be honest, I put both
Ain't
of them
good.
together because they're both cheap and they're both very similar in terms of how much damage they can do. So they're a great pairing when combo together.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Rust Dust, but you can't deny the damage that she does. You can't. So
But
for a
that
cleanup bot,
SA11 became massive, like a
yeah, I
massive
agree.
area.
I agree. Yeah, not for me. I'm not a big fan of Scouts, I'll be honest with you, apart from Bumblebee. I wasn't a big fan of Bumblebee until the recent buff, so
Mm.
but yeah,
I
I
mean, it
agree with that.
wasn't
Yeah.
on the test account. I put together a special team, and it was like pretty crazy how all these little combo bots all pair together can actually wreck a base for a lot of cheap costs.
With a squad core or
Yeah, squad core, and then
yeah,
obviously just
yeah.
mixing in Amalgamous, Alchemist. Everyone's on a gunner type combat, keeping them back, and then just a little bit of hacking, and yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Skyburst. Skyburst
Um,
is Onslaught. So where would you put Skyburst?
Probably
Interesting
in the
one.
good, probably in the good because it's an old school
Really?
walk cleanup. Yeah, I mean, because you
See,
wouldn't really
I'd be more
class her
inclined down here.
situational.
Yeah, it's clean
Uh,
up,
uh,
yeah, but is that enough to be up here? Does she hit the heights of Rust Dust and B?
no, probably not. Then yeah, probably that situational. I know a lot of people used to put her out first to clean up an area to help pathing, and
But you could
because
get
of
her
her
any gunner.
spread.
That
Well,
doesn't make her that special. I mean, that's just a gunner
no,
thing. So I kind of get where you're going, but I think the
yeah,
stun's really good. SA11, but I just think that back in the day she was really powerful with the spread.
yeah.
But I just think over time a lot of bots have caught up. Flack, I think, did a massive injustice for her.
Yes, that's what it's done. Like because when you
Yeah,
generally had her, you put the Prima Prime Core on, and now
yeah,
the Flak takes that. You can put that on a jet, which is much better.
yeah. I think pre-combats, then yeah, you're looking up here
Yeah,
definitely.
that's true.
But I think with combats now, yeah, I think we compromise the situation there. Yeah. Huffer, are you a Huffer fan?
Um, no, not really.
I
It's
actually did a campaign years ago, and I called it Huffer Buffer. I was campaigning for a buff, and they give a buff, and he still wasn't that good either, even after the
well,
buff.
well, it's do you remember when he became when they gave him a buff? They actually gave that bug to the HQ point laser, and it
Yes.
was doing like 17,000. I'm like,
Yeah, I do remember
crazy.
that. Yeah, I do remember that very well. Yeah.
Um, but
So
not
where would you
honestly,
place Huffer?
not great. not great.
I'd like to put him in, but I can't. I feel for him. I feel sorry for him, but I
Look,
kind
I
of
mean,
agree.
the fact that you can put out like four of his abilities and it's like a little minigun fest, it's a good looking thing, but it's a waste of ability points.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think he needs? I've been racking my brain. I mean, what do you think he
I think
needs to
that
make him,
I think his
to
minigun
get?
needs a lot more health to be even good.
Think it's just health, think damage as well, or I think range, or
I mean, look, they're never gonna overpower him as a bot or let alone his SA, but it's just his. I mean, they last for like what 40, 45 seconds or something crazy like that. It's
yeah,
just the health. It's just the health that needs to be a constant damage factor because otherwise they'll just get picked off.
yeah. If you look at the stats, then it's not a disaster. It's
No,
not awful. Okay, interesting one.
Saber.
Star Saber. This would be a good one. So, where
um,
do you think?
for me, he's in that situational um, kind of area now. Until they bring out a 5-star, he almost even borderlines in that not great, just due to being so expensive and our defense is having so much health that some of the buffs having health regeneration just makes him useless. It's expensive popper.
Do you not think he's godly for lower level players though? And so
Oh,
maybe
okay.
he's,
Well,
I don't
see, this is
know.
that different. This is that different
Yeah.
mindset of like what player level is using him for HQ 16 below. Absolutely, he'd be in that god section.
So you put up there. If you say
Yeah,
HU16, you below you say up there.
yeah, absolutely. But for HQ 17 above, yeah, situational at best.
So would you be happy pulling? So if you were a HQ17 player, would you be happy pulling Star Saber though? Do you think?
No, not anymore. Not no. You need a 5-star or even an SA 11.
So what do we think? Do we think good? Do we think situational?
Situate for me, it's situational. I've only got a couple players on my team that still use him, just as a sack bot, because of the range. That his range is what separates him from, kind of
Yeah.
justifying the cost.
A lot of people in the chat are saying it needs a cost reduction. Uh, I maybe
Yeah,
I maybe agree with that. He is quite expensive now for
you, you
HQ17.
start at 12. Yeah, starting
Yeah,
at 12
but then that
plus
was
three.
even
That's
back in the day. That was it was justified. It was, but with so many
it was
overpowered
to the
bots now,
damage.
I'm just hoping maybe an SA11 would make that give him that boost again to make him good
it's
again.
it's well it's been a constant sort of, I guess, not argument or just conversation piece, being like, oh, Star Saber couldn't be 5-star, he's too overpowered. But then you've got a leader, and like the fact that she's in there, she's a cheaper,
Yeah,
better version than him. So
yeah, yeah. There's an argument for and against. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you though. But yeah, I think I think the apes are worried about what happens at HG15 and below, where we talked previously about having overpowered attacks and how we need to sort of like maybe eradicate that from the game, be careful with things, and I think that's why they're sort of on the cusp. But then I also think you've got Goldfire that could do HQ15 and do the
oh,
same. So what's the
absolutely.
difference? So I don't know. I
And we're not
understand
really
there.
designing, yeah, we're not designing bots to come out for HQ 12 through 16. We're making
True.
bots for the HQ 17 plus era.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I'd agree situational for now. Yeah, I'm hoping he's back up there again maybe at some point as a 5-star. But yeah, I think it's time. I really do. Okay,
Oh,
next
good.
up is Perceptor. So you're a bit of a Perceptor fan, aren't you?
I am. I would straight away put him in the godly section for multiple
Whoa.
reasons.
Do you know what I'd put him? Honestly, and I'm not just saying this, down here.
Oh,
I really
Jesus.
would. And the reason I would put him down there is because he only hacks one defense or
A
two at
two.
SA11, two at SA11. But when you
But
compare him to
see,
Blades, I don't think there's any comparison at all. Blades
we'll
just
see.
knocks him out of the park.
In a way, yes. Given that the map is not getting bigger, more buildings are more bunched up. But the thing is, when people have these anti-hack calls, obviously they're very negated for Perceptor and Blades. But you take them out, and these hack guys jump straight back in. For me, Perceptor, because he has that inbuilt liege factor, which is kind of like a prime core, it gives you that extra squad slot. So it's sort of like a bonus effect. So out of the hackers, Perceptor over Blades for me personally, and he hasn't left my squad ever. Um, and it's a long hack, and given that it's two weapons now, I think it's still great because blades can still be a bit hit and miss. As I said, that's just my view.
So
You know,
let me ask you
keep
this
it.
then. This is a good topic of this conversation then. So you've said that because he's got the age, that sort of pushed him into that godly section. Would you
Yeah.
put Brainstorm in the godly section though, for the same reason? Because he has a
Um,
vector.
he has vector, but the thing, like the liege factor is so they're all level one. So the inbuilt cores are essentially prime core level one. With liege, it's like 5 seconds of that, hacking or whatever. But with vector, it's like microseconds. So it's not very good, to be honest. Brainstorm's one.
I'm not gonna lie, I just don't think I can put him up there. I just,
No,
I,
look,
I
it's
wouldn't
going
like
to
to
be
put him
really
as a
hard.
5 star, but I can't deny that he is good and just hack. And even with the,
Yeah,
I think that even with, it's a testament that even with the current hack build bots, even though he's a scout, I
yeah,
think he could definitely go in there. I don't think anyone can
yeah.
disagree with
So,
that. I mean, I would put him down there personally because I think Blades is a lot better, does a better job, and although hacking is great, I just think that when you've got Blades, there's just no need for Perceptor personally. Do you run Perceptor and Blades or
no, so it's just Perceptor, and I do have
ah?
5-star blades as well. But so for me, my setup is Alchemist with Top Shot, and he hangs back, constantly heals, and yeah, inbuilt leash plus hacking, two things for a long time.
So
That'll win me over.
so why Perceptor over Blades though? Because I think a lot of people would disagree with that. So why that? Simply the age, simple
Um,
as that, or
well,
is it the
it stays on
class?
the ground, right? Like I think the anti-air
Yeah.
turrets can really hurt blades a lot more. Like they're both got kind of lowish health on that sort of 15,000 health range, and I feel that like when you stay on the ground a bit more, it just I know you can hack anything, right? Like at a short distance, whereas blades can be a bit more expensive too than Perceptor.
No, I can get that. I can get that. Okay, so up to now we've not got a single godly bot on there because literally from difference of opinions. Because like I said, I would put Blast up there, definitely without doubt. You put Nar up there, so but yeah, let's keep going. So,
Cool.
Optimus Primal, Monkey Prime, as Engineer Hoist calls him.
Situational at best. I haven't even pulled him as the 5-star. Put it that way.
Same. I mean, I can see value in him. I definitely can.
Yeah.
But again, I've got 100,000 Shanix and I haven't pulled him. And the only time I
No.
think I will pull him is if I'm really desperate for a dupe and I need the 180 shards that you get from the achievement. That is the sort of
Oh,
stage
true
I'm
that.
at.
Yeah.
That is the only thing reason I'd really pull him, and that's quite
Yeah.
sad, really. Or if I want to like just get an X, say I'm up to 29 5 stars, I might pull him just to make it 30. But it's quite sad that you think like that. But I've seen some good
Well,
sort of Russian smash
yeah.
teams, not the old ones, but people use them. But I don't like the jumping. I don't like that at
No,
all.
it kind of fell into that awkward category of drift where they kind of
Yeah.
just jump ahead, they get into trouble, and you've got to use their special ability just to keep them alive. And I don't like bots like that where you have to use their ability just to keep them alive. And with the primal, I used to have the strategy, the bomb, used to like BOMB strategy, and it was like yeah, pretty much just a big smash attack.
Yeah.
And getting the shield is all great, but defenses now it's just too strong for Primal, in my view, anyways.
No, I agree. I think he's decent. I would be disappointed in pulling him if I was a new player and lowered down maybe, but I think you see him less and less at higher levels. And you think if you're talking about longevity, then maybe not. Okay, an interesting one next.
Cup.
Cup and Dead End. So we were talking about this before the stream about where this guy goes, and I think this is the problem is that if you're paid to win,
Yeah,
without a doubt, it goes there.
absolutely.
Without a doubt, with Cup Lagoon in, it's totally, rejuvenated the whole leveling process.
That's all I use. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's he was maxed years ago, and I still use him to today.
agreed. But then if you're free to play, situational maybe,
Yeah.
free
Oh,
to
if
play.
that, I mean, I don't even know many people that use him on a war team.
Yeah, can you tell me anyone that's ever used Cup in the last year for anything less than Golden Lagooning?
Yeah, and I was actually a bit disappointed with this special 11. I was like, it was just to get rid of Mind Wipe.
Yeah. But you know what? We talked about this, but I think we've got to put him up there. Just
Yeah,
because I agree he should be there if you're free to play. There maybe. But I think for what he's done for leveling and what it opens up for newer players compared to what we spent and the time we invested leveling bots, it just opens up so many avenues that you can score huge points very quickly and level bots 10 times faster than we ever did. I just think we've got to put him up there, haven't we? Haven't
yeah,
we?
I think so too. And he's such a good lore bot, right? He's that guy that the cup stories and all that sort of stuff is yeah, I think he's a great character overall.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. If we're doing that, then let's put him up there. And this guy as well, and this guy as well. We could go on forever. Bumblebee as well, but
It's actually
yeah,
funny too. When it comes to cup, we always bag out Fire Drive as that the worst combat ever made. But to be honest, you can actually put it on cup. It's actually half decent. It's the only bot
mm,
I can put it on.
there you go. You heard it here first. Fire Drive has a use.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Laser
Oh,
Optimus. So in my Discord, I asked a few people, about sort of this guy. Well, I asked them to put their opinions, and the amount of replies. I mean, we got a lot for some other guys, but Laser Optimus came up a lot, as in they put him up there in Godly. Do you agree with that? Do you think he is
oh,
Godly?
absolutely, absolutely. I'll even put it out there. It's like even a 4-star max. I'd put like SA11 on a 4-star on this one.
Wow, that's a big statement. Because the only
I mean,
four star
you
I've
get.
put 11 is tracks. That's it. I'm
I
not
think
using
I
them
get
all.
too much sparks. I got too many 4 stars that have special 11, but yeah, it's no, definitely. I think getting that extra disc and the stun, um there's not too much difference in health wise between the 4 and the 5. So he's such great for offense and defense. He can be an easy power leveler as well.
Yeah,
So
good all
any
rounder.
bot that sort of yeah, any bot that ticks all of those boxes of offense, defense, leveling, um, and it's just a good SA11. Yeah, that's up there
Yeah.
with a godly.
Well, someone just asked. Laser Optimus is obviously Armada Megatron, and yeah, I went back to that batch rather than the current batch just to pull this guy, and
Yeah,
I've got him now at 5111 with an
yeah.
18 G metal, and even then he's doing well in Zone 14.
Oh,
Even there,
absolutely.
I was like, this guy's actually staying alive. And looking at his stats, he had like, I think it was like 17,000 health and 400 DPS at level 51. I was like,
Yeah, I even did like
jeez.
an Excel spreadsheet on this guy just to do like showing how much damage he can honestly do, and it's
Yeah,
like crazy. It's up
I
there
re-
like 35,000 damage.
yeah, I remember covering this guy when we covered his release, and when we covered it as a 5 star, and he got the buff, and then I compared him to Sentius, and I actually put in the chat like, "What do you think of Sentius?" And everyone's like, "Oh, he's great, he's amazing." It's like this guy does like 50, 60% more damage on his own.
Yeah.
That's before
So that's for me.
SA11.
Same. I
Crazy,
had
absolutely,
Sentius,
yeah.
and I wanted Lot just to replace Sentius spot on my war team, and that's what he done.
Yeah, but same. I'm gonna replace another guy, which we won't talk about because he's further down the list. Don't want to influence anyone. But yeah, he's gonna replace another guy down the list who's I think's up there definitely, but he's just godly for me, definitely. Okay, next up is Cheetor.
So he used to be almost godly.
Yeah, used to
When you
be.
have like yeah, used to be up there with the Golden Lagoon as well.
Yeah,
But
I forgot about that actually. Yeah,
defenses are way too strong now. So oh, he's situational at best. He
they not
just
not
gets into trouble.
not quite good situation. Good, no, maybe.
Uh,
Yeah, maybe it pained me to do it, but I probably agree. I mean, back in my cleanup days when I had Goldfire and
oh yeah,
Cheetor, and he was godly, like you said, absolutely
I,
godly,
I,
even
I used
before
to
Golden
put
Lagoon.
Cheetah and Slash together, and I just used to
Yeah,
like use Sludge just to open the map up and send those two, and they just used to go crazy. But now you just can't do that anymore.
yeah, I was the official Goldfire player, like back in the day, and I was saying like, this guy is so good, and everyone was like, Goldfire is rubbish, Star Saber's so much better. I was like, no, he's not. He's really not.
Yeah,
This is HQ16 days, and he's just do
yeah,
Goldfire and just do swipe, swipe, swipe. and likes of Cheetor would just clean that up. Honestly, so easy. But I agree
Yeah.
that it just. I was talking to some other people about this the other day, and just said that the problem is you've got to use the ability to keep him alive. You've got
Yes.
to, and even then, it's not a guarantee because he runs off
No, and
ahead. He does loads of
even
damage,
his
but
new trend. Yeah, sorry. Even his new Transmetal core, it's not that great, to be
it's
honest.
awful. He's one of the few. I've actually got him maxed out, and I haven't got him at 11. I've kept him at 10. I don't think his
Yeah.
SA11's that good. I don't think his G Metal's that good. And maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe. But even the Amalgamus, which I think is designed from pretty much, it doesn't get it anymore. It does just
Well,
no.
we say that a lot. Like, there's probably what, like 5 or 6 bots we could use Amalgamus on. Wish we had
Yeah,
multiple of them, but it's just such a good prime core that it makes any
yeah,
bot like, especially the next bot we're going to talk about. It's just up there. It's really a great just core in general.
yeah. We'll talk to the next guy, Snarl. So, what do you think of Snarl? I mean, I'll give you a big clue here. I pulled this guy in the anniversary event, which was May, is it? I think, yeah, May.
Yeah, mid
Um,
year.
yeah, and mine's at level 52.
I mean, look, mine's maxed, but I haven't given him SA11, just because mm, you need to use his ability to keep him alive.
Same as
His
Cheetor, then.
pathing is pretty bad.
So you think with Cheetor, you think?
Yeah, for sure. Like, look, sometimes on defense you come across him and he can do a lot of damage real fast, but there's just a lot of ways to neutralize op bots now that it's not so much an issue.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think more because I've got Cheetor maxed out. I think they're very similar in what they sort of do. I don't think his SA11 was that good. I think that's a big letdown for him, and I think the I see. I'm more inclined down here for the simple fact that all of the combats don't work well for him. Where you've got them
No,
combats that you can put flak on Cheetor, you can put top shot on him and improve Cheetor a bit, but you can't do that with Snarl. But
yeah,
I get it's got value.
there's a couple
So
special class bots here that have that where if you could attach a different type of combat, it would change them completely.
yeah,
But only
definitely.
having like the bird axe and all that stuff, it doesn't stop them from being bad.
No, no, I agree. I agree. Okay, on to the next one. The
Got him.
Prime Killer, Rodimus Prime. Well, I know it's Hot
Oh.
Rod, but same guy, let's be honest. So let's call him Prime Killer. Spark some debate up in the chat whether it's Prime Killer or not.
Um,
So, what do you think about this guy? I mean,
I,
I haven't got this
I,
guy, so in a 5 star. So, have you got him in a 5 star?
I've got him 65-11. Yeah.
Well, then you're a better judge than me, then. So, where would you put this guy then?
Well, I have him in that borderline of good and situational. Now, it could probably stick to situational for now, only because when his SA11 came out, I actually thought it was a misprint with how good of the boost it gave, and I was like, nah, this is not right. And then when it was
It's
like, no,
impressive.
he does a lot,
He
but
melts.
it melts. So if you're a sack player, he would be good because if you're drawing all those ops to the pad and then a burst of Rodimus with everyone
Yep.
there, everything's gone.
That's what
Simple
I
as
was
that.
thinking. As soon as you mentioned him, and I was thinking, right, I haven't got this guy, but I've seen him being used. That's what I thought of straight away.
Yeah.
Around bots, when you do sack things like that, yeah, absolutely melts outpost bots. Good against these combiners in the current meta. So current meta, you could maybe put him up there. He's had a bit of a comeback in the current meta, but overall, yeah,
I've got him
agree.
on my midweek raid team, the one for Shanix. And yeah, obviously with having so many weapons, having so many life bars, so on my raid team I have Rodimus, Cheetah, Snarl, and Gnaw, and like all of those bots with Slash and all that, amplified by Rodimus, they just do so much damage. I'm just spamming Rodimus after and after and after.
Mm, yeah, like I said, I don't have him personally, but I can see his value. But
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, this is a good one here now.
I think
Elita
so.
1 on Lugnut. What do you think? I mean, we put Star Saber in situational, but we did say
No,
she's
yeah,
better. So,
better. So I think she fits in that good. She's still relevant due to cost. Still an outpost. We see her. If you're still all right with sack play, Just go look out for the new mines. Her armor is like so hard to get, by the way. But
I've
that's
got it in
another
my email.
story for another day. Yeah.
See,
But yeah,
I think I've got her at 62. I think it is 62.9. She's one of the few that aren't, maxed out. And I think that if you're talking about Zen farming and resource farming, and in wars and in everything else, then me, she's I think like that, sort of in between a bit. I get lower levels,
yeah,
she'd
same.
be up
I
there,
would
Zen
agree.
farming, but I just think that she's dropped a bit in wars. She's not the bot she was. She's in outpost still, which I think around there personally. I think I'm gonna do
I
that.
agree.
I
I was
don't
gonna
think
say,
she's
can you
quite.
do that?
Yeah, why not? It's our stream. We'll do what we want. Yeah, we could probably do the same with Nora and Blaster actually, but we're gonna
Yeah,
do it.
probably could.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, I kind of get the sort of on the cusp
Because
there.
it's honest,
So
right? Like we're giving the honest opinions of where these bots
yeah,
are or where they're headed, and yeah, it's just as time goes on, different bots take on a different, godly versus good situation.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed in Elita. I know a lot of people think that's the jackpot. Pulling Elita, but I just think that she was up there and she's dropped a bit, which sort of makes sense. So yeah, I'll be definitely pleased with that pull. Definitely. Even just for Zen farming. I use my 4-star and my 5-star even now for Zen farming. So that says a lot. So yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Another good one. Sentius.
Said,
Sentius Magnus, Sentius Malus. What do we think?
um, uh, he's solid, just good, just solid all around. His
Yeah, I
only
agree.
bad thing is the old wall humping. I think he
Yeah.
still has that.
Yeah, I like Sentius a lot. Again, I use him for
Yeah,
Zen, I use him for leveling and things like that. Again, he's
just
dropped
everything.
he's dropped for the meta a bit since Laser Optimus. I think he was godly until this guy
He
came
was.
out, and then people were like, "Yeah, that was the level of godly, and now this is the level of godly. Now this is out." I think that set a new standard, and that's what's pushed Sentius down. He's not bad, but we've set ourselves a new standard now. The game's progressed.
Yeah, he's just good all around in every format of the game. He's just a solid option.
Yeah. Do you think if it came out as a 5-star, it'd get that godly rating? Is that what he
Oh,
needs?
absolutely.
You
Yeah, I
think?
think he'd almost. Oh, because he got SA 11 and it's like a massive damage boost. It's kind of hard because Lop does the stun. Lop would still edge out Sentius, but they'd both be in that godly section.
Yeah. We know it'd be interesting if we look back at this next year, we get this graph up and we look back at it and go, right, okay, what's changed? And kind of look it back at
Yeah.
it. That'd be good to do. Yeah, as things
Oh,
change
for
over the
sure.
year. Because I can see a lot of bots here, like Bumblebee. We would never rate Bumblebee there a year ago. We
No.
would never rated Census that low, maybe 2 years ago, Elita maybe 2 years ago, that low. They'd be godly. Star Saber
Yeah.
would be up there as well. So it's interesting how it changes over time, especially with HU18 probably coming this year. So it'd be interesting when HU18 drops. I mean, we might see this guy even drop a HU18 with new 5-stars. I mean,
Yeah.
who's to know?
Well, we,
Who's
we
to know?
never. Well, we never know what new bots are going to come out. It's just that simple.
True, true. So yeah, time will tell. But on to the next bot, another interesting bot, and that is Slash and Ripper Snapper. What do you think?
Um, I've got her in situational.
Really? See, I'd
Yeah.
put
I
her
mean,
up to good. I,
I
I think
think
that.
good if you pull the 5-star.
Well, I have my 4-star at 64.9, and I use her every single week for Zen farming. Every single week. I
But
use it to
that's just
level
for
other
Zen.
bots. Even free to play. If I'm free to play, I'll put her with another bot, and every hour use Slash with another bot. And like you said with Skyburst, so I'll use the bot, especially if it's Gunner. You can't really solo most Gunners, other than
No.
Sea Spray, of course. But yeah, most Gunners you can't solo. So when I'm leveling a Gunner, especially, or someone that can attach a ranged combat, I'll put them. I'll clear a bit of a section, and then just drop Slash. It's an easy zone
Yeah.
14 for me. And that's where, for me, I'd put her up there. I mean, if she was that good in wars, I mean, honestly, like, I'm still debating putting the 5-star, and I'm going to try and slash bases. I really am, because with the new mines out, no one's using flare mines anymore. You'd be
No.
you'd be crazy to use flare mines now. So,
So funny story though. Last night I was like, okay, I've made the decision. I want brainstorm. I had 3 pulls. of the new batch. I didn't get Brainstorm.
Of course you
I
didn't.
got Slash, Pipes, and who else? And Red Alert. So I'm like, damn it.
Maybe this.
So
So honestly, I don't think Slash is a bad pull. I don't think Red Alert's a
no,
bad pull, but probably the three worst in that batch, to be fair. I mean, Pipes is
yeah.
awful.
I,
Can we agree on
I mean,
that?
look, yeah, for sure. I mean, my 4-star Slash is max. Running a max Megatronus
Of
Prime Core
course. Yeah, of
and,
course.
and the healing combat, and she goes well. She really does.
Yeah, I'd definitely put her good, personally. I think she's got
Yeah,
good value in the game. You can easily level her. She's good for Zen. Good for leveling other bots. If you haven't got Golden Lagoon, good for free-to-play players. I know that guy. Hugo, was he in Power or was he
he
in
was. That was
One?
my yeah, that was my team. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, he's the first guy that I sort of met free-to-play that was using Slash in that way and sort of convinced me, to be honest, to start using her when I wasn't spending to level other bots. And he showed me some replay, and I was like, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. And
yeah.
yeah, I just think that she's a great all-round bot. Good for leveling,
But
good for
I
Zen.
definitely agree that everyone wants the new mines, so you're going to see less flare mines out there.
Yeah, so don't hold off on that Slash too much, guys, because I'm going to level her up definitely. I mean, Laser Optimus is definitely a priority. He's straight in the war team as a
Yep.
definite. That's going to work. Slash is a maybe, but I think she'll make a comeback with the 5-star and with the lack of flare mines, and that leaves it open. Then do we start going back to flare mines? Because let's be honest, Slash in a base is like the ultimate troll. You do
It
not want to
is.
get slashed. So then do people go like, right, that's it, I'm going back to flare mines, and it opens it up for sack again. It's an interesting change in meta, especially putting Slash in there. I thought it was a good decision by the Apes. I thought it was good timing, perfect timing for Slash with the interesting new mines. It's coincided with it. So I think honestly, I think next year we could be maybe even that maybe, but yeah, definitely just settle for good for now. I think.
I think out of just cause I'll probably max the 5-star and like really push it to see
Yeah.
just how can.
True, but is it another Skylinks where the 5-star doesn't really offer that much more? I mean, you'll get through the base a bit quicker, but you'll still take 2 hits to take the HQ down, a HQ 17 max.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it depends now that if people now put that adaptive shield on the HQ, it's going to make it very tough to be slashed.
interesting. Okay, next spot,
Streetwise.
Streetwise. This is actually an interesting one for me because I think we
Yeah,
talked about this the other night. We
no,
were
for
talking
me,
for a
not
few hours.
personally, but I know for you, you loved him a lot more than I did.
It's not that. I mean, I don't rate him. Right now, my 4-star is nowhere. But I think with the way the meta's going, he could be up there. But right now, is he there? I think. Is he down? Is he that
I
far
mean,
down?
I could put him in situational because there's a lot more teams that now need to do walking on a base. And he just offers, if you don't have like a Bumblebee or you don't have a Brainstorm, this guy can really sort of help you on a walk team because just it's a like massive area and the ability is not that expensive and stat wise he's not the worst.
I just think he's so undervalued. I mean, the amount of slow that he gives and the amount of speed up that he gives, it's like having Brainstorm Wheeljack in one,
Yes,
and
exactly.
there's no counter for it. There's no counter at all. Most other bots in the game have got a counter in some way. I mean, let's be honest. Blaster, you could say that the MDS laser setting probably counters Blaster and Gnaw to a degree because it cuts through them.
Yeah.
Cup, you've got the. I mean, I know they fixed the current
FFD calls.
yeah,
Yeah.
Foster disruptors. So that, but Cup's godly honored Cup for lagooning, but there's still counters for that by putting your outposts around the HQ, and there's counters for everything. But is there a counter for Streetwise?
Well,
Is it?
not really
I don't
overall
think
in
there
terms of
is.
his ability. I mean, if he gets hit by a mine, I think he does tend to walk a bit quicker than the
Yeah.
odd average bot. So just don't put him in the lead. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's an argument from there, but I think he's got value, and I think we'll see more and more of him as time goes on. I think we'll see a 5-star version. Do you think so?
definitely. I think any time a bot becomes a 5-star for the first time, they try to use that as a time to make the bot better. And yeah, just you never know how good it's going to be.
Well, let
I
me
mean,
ask you this: if they brought him out as a 5-star tomorrow, would you, if you pulled him, would you be happy?
chase? No, no, I wouldn't chase him.
See, I think I would. All right, would you chase him over Brainstorm though?
No,
See, I would. I think. I
the
think I
the
would.
5-star at 95% is a lot for
But this
brainstorm.
guy does 60%. SA11 as a 4-star does 60% slow and 60% speed up for all your bots in an area,
Mm.
and it's a big
I think
area.
I think I think this is where it borderlines on how differently you play the game. I'm the
Yes,
type of
true,
guy that wants to
true.
take a base down in 2 minutes or less, and that's what I do. Whereas if you're playing a slow play war, this guy will be better for you. That's all.
Yeah, and that's where I see value. So we'll keep a situation for now, but I honestly think we'll see him up here more in the next meta. But well, I've been wrong before. I've been right many times, but we'll see. Okay, next one,
Impact.
Impactor.
A lot of guys gone crazy for him. That's for sure.
What do you think?
I'll put him in the good. Good stats. Good SA11. He's sort of in line with that Sentius level. Just a good solid bot all around.
Do you not think godly?
No, just because there's got to be a lot of check boxes for a bot for me to fit into that godly section.
I just know that this guy can solo zone 14 100% of the time, very easily, does huge damage, and these arguments to say he's better than Lop. He does more damage than Lop does. And we've got him up there. But is that Lop with Wheeljack? Is it because he needs Wheeljack? Because we know that gets used to incredible effect. But this guy
Yeah,
doesn't need that. So
he
is
doesn't.
it?
But at the same time, are we judging a bot on one or two things it does in the game, or
Well, if
where
you can
where
solo zone 14, you're talking Zen fam, you're talking resource raiding, you're talking leveling other bots, you're talking wars. I don't think there's anything that guy can't do. I I was dead against pulling him. After watching some recent replays, I might go back for him and even chance swoop, which I don't rate
I,
swoop at all.
I think I'd probably borderline him on the next section, like so same up there with like in that halfway. He just,
Yeah,
doesn't fully go into that zone, but
see, I
he
would,
touches in it.
but we'll compromise. I really would, but I'll settle for that. I'll settle for that. But yeah, difference of opinions, but I would definitely. And I find it amusing that the first like massively attacking bot, which is not my style, and I'm like, this guy's amazing, and you're like,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
Okay, next guy, another interesting one is Rhinox. So obviously he's had SA11, he's got his G Metal core. What do you think of this guy?
I think he actually goes now godly. I don't actually have him or use him,
Above
but
Impactor?
yeah.
Wow.
Now this is because of the outpost factor. He's popped out in a lot more outposts and is very irritating to
Yeah.
take down. And he can do everything that Impactor can and more.
I, can he do the same damage as Impactor though? I
Yeah, but
I
it's other
don't
things.
think he
It's
can
like
solo a
he's
zone 14 as well as Impactor does because it's got to be if it's a split base it can be a bit difficult for him. But I mean I love my Rhinox, but Laser Optimus will replace him.
true, but you've also got the fact of his core's good, his health is better, and his effect allows him to use hand-to-hand combat because everything's slowed down.
Yeah, I mean I love the fact that I called this guy the worst bot in that batch at that time. And I think he was pre 11 and pre G Metal, and he was still amazing. And I think that just just contests to how good that batch is. I mean, for anyone thinking
Yeah,
about pulling a 5-star, you can't go wrong in that batch. Even though people go on about the mines, the anti-hack mines, build bots, sorry, and things like that, it doesn't matter. Blaze is still good. I think that batch is amazing, and this guy is definitely not the donkey of the batch anymore, without a doubt.
no,
He's one
definitely
of the
not.
ones to have. So, yeah, I have no argument putting him in godly. I'm just surprised that you've not put impact up there with him. That's all. I mean, I'm surprised that, but definitely I can't argue with that at all. Definitely, definitely. Okay, a big favourite of yours that has been a unicorn of mine,
Yeah,
and that's
punch.
Punch. We talked about this before the stream as well, and you know how good he was. I know people got really annoyed at
Yeah,
the fix. I mean, it wasn't a nerf as such, but people will see that way, and we talked about that previously, didn't we?
we did. It's up there because the way that I used him and the way I trained people to use him, he fit in that godly character slot, and it's crazy to say that, but now that he's been adjusted to what the tooltip requires him to be, he drops down to situational.
That far,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
honestly, just it's because like he throws all these grenades. He's invisible while he does it, but doesn't have that invisibility factor past it. Doesn't have a high health, and that was the I suppose the switch part because 10 seconds of doing damage, then plus 10 seconds of doing extra damage with top shot with things that are weakened. He just melted bases, and you could just
Yeah.
drop a whole team on one side, and they walk straight to the HQ.
Yeah, it was
And
your replays that I saw first, which made me think, whoa, I could do with getting this guy.
yeah,
Bought a
and
few
give it and
crystals, didn't get him.
for
I was
sure.
like, give up. But
But
definitely a
not just
unicorn of
that.
mine.
Yeah, I mean the fact that whenever there's a 4-star bot that people have overlooked because one, it's a 4-star, it's like, oh, I'm not going to invest in a 4-star. There's going to be a 5-star. It's like I get that, but
Yeah.
you know what? A 4-star you have, it's cheaper to level, and there's always more sparks to be had in this game, and you're never going to have enough. But
Well,
you need to play for the now as well. So it just
true.
happens, and I know that people get upset about it, but that's just the way that this game goes. A bot's good now. It's not going to be great later. There'll be something better later.
Yeah, I just advise anyone, we were talking about this as well, that, let's be deadly honest, he was not doing what he was supposed to do.
No,
That's a definite.
absolutely not.
And if you ever get a bot like this guy, it's a 4-star, and it's massively overpowered when it comes out, it's worth just maybe asking text, asking myself, and just saying, like, listen, this bot, I'm going to invest in it. Is it going to change? I mean, what was the last bot to get nerfed? I'm trying to think.
Snapdragon,
No, was that a nerf or a fix?
or Inferno.
Was that a nerf or a fix?
Yeah,
That's a bit of on the borderline. But I
I
can't
mean
I can't think of the last
the
bot that was definitely nerfed. I'm trying to
yeah,
think.
like from a nerf perspective, it's very hard because generally, like we're talking Skylinks, we're talking Inferno. People are, you
Mm,
know, the Skylinks was imbalanced with Blitz. Skylinks could do the 3 attacks, Blitz couldn't.
yeah,
Inferno could
yeah,
double stack or triple stack. That was just insane. But
yeah,
the tooltip never stated that it couldn't or that it, wasn't allowed to either, because obviously it did. Um,
yeah,
but the difference was between Inferno and Skylinks versus Punch and Snapdragon. People got Spark refunded, right? And that's really kind of cut to the core of players being upset. They'd be like, well, the other two weren't acting as they were meant to. They got fixed. We got refunded or got a one-time offer. On
yeah.
Punch and Snap, they didn't. So you kind of got to be like, oh, I kind of feel for the community on that part, but it's what do you do? Me and you don't run the show up there, so it's their call, not
Yeah.
ours.
And I think I can see a lot of suggestions and also my fixes, but I think Vincent Lee was right. Trax is probably the last nerf, which is a
Um,
long time ago.
yeah, I mean, look, I don't see him coming out as a 5-star anytime soon, just because
I
of
do,
what he offers.
I
I mean, he's on
do.
China. He's on China, right? So it's kind of
Exactly.
hard.
And
Yeah.
what you got to think is Trax pairs with Cutthroat. Cutthroat is part of Abominus. 5-star
Oh,
combiners.
that's true.
That's what I'm thinking.
I
I
don't know
think
if
I think the FFD was buffed with that in mind personally. That's what I think. But that's a conversation for another day though. But yeah, the point I'm making is that bots don't really get nerfed anymore. They do not fit the tooltip and are doing more than they should. But it's always worth just hitting myself up or text or someone that's very knowledgeable about in the game and just saying, listen, is this guy doing what he should? Is this guy going to get fixed eventually? I will be honest. We said, listen, if it's not working as it should, but it benefits you, use it. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be
but don't
don't be
get up.
guilty of
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah. Don't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
upset
do
if
it.
I fix it, but
That's the point you got to remember. You got to remember that if you invest in something that you realize is not doing what it should and it gets fixed, then you can't complain. And that's where you're best asking someone, just saying, listen, is this guy gonna get fixed? And it gives you a better, again, a better opinion on what you can do and a bit of outlook.
I mean, during testing, we always said, right, like it's a fair go that you really shouldn't be taking down a max base with like two or less bots, right?
Yeah,
That's that's the sum of it. And Snap was doing that. It was like something's
yeah,
not right, but use it till it's fixed or worked out. And
yep, 100% agree. Okay, next up, Hound Vamp. So this guy was a bit of a unicorn as well for me, along with Punch. I've just pulled him recently, so I would literally put him in the not great section. His
yeah,
stats
I
sound
agree.
so good. I mean, you look at his stats and you think, wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. 40% extra damage, is it, in an area to
Yeah.
all bots? 40% extra damage. Wow. And then he dies. From what I've gathered, he just dies. I was like, yeah, this is not that good.
He's like a little mini prime because there's a little bit of a rush factor in there. Like he'll call to a weapon or
Yeah.
building or whatever, but it's not great at all.
Yeah, I would never be pleased pulling that guy. He brought him up as a 5 star. I'd expect a huge buff to him.
Yeah.
I'd put him there with pipes in that sort of category of like needs something, and we won't go on that
No,
topic because
that's
we'll be here all day talking about pipes. But he needs something. But yeah, I can see Cryontan's put Hound Vamp goes below not great, so maybe we can put him down here somewhere. But yeah, I agree, he's not great. I would not be pleased pulling him. I wouldn't be pulling him with a 4 star and celebrating. Definitely not. Next was Red Alert. So Red Alert was massive in the meta, just come out as a 5 star. So, I mean, first off, where would you put him pre the new cause?
three of the new cores
And
in the
does that
good.
change that?
In the
So you
good.
put him
Oh,
there.
yeah, look, I know why people use him. It's literally just to counter stun on Chromia. Let's be honest. Or Lop, or sorry, Lop, Swoop, and Chromia is
Yeah.
what a lot of people use him to counter. But here's the thing: if you don't get him off, like don't use his ability off in time, he's useless.
So does he stay in good? Is it
I
situational now? Because the new cause?
I think that if you keep him with Rat Trap as a combat and keep him alive, he can stay in good.
But with Rat Trap means he gets no flak or top shot or anything.
Correct.
Hmm.
But that's the thing. Like, because he can immune your whole team of stun, you need to have that swap or
So he
payoff
don't get stunned
factor.
himself. Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. Sadly, he's one of my 5 stars on leveling him, but he won't get in my war team by any means. Although I did use a 4 star in a battle the other day, and I came up against a combiner, and I mean, yeah, given it wasn't a massively high level combiner, but so I did a bit of a sack in I think it was a raid or something. I can't remember what I was doing, but a bit of a sack, and then the combiner came down. Red Alert started firing at him, and then I hit him with Red Alert. I was just gone, and you don't realize how much damage his ability does when it hits him with that rifle first. It's
Yeah.
quite a lot of damage. It's quite. At one point I was like, I think this is like we said, not doing what the tooltip said. It was a crazy amount of damage. So yeah, I will look into that and see what it's like. But yeah, the new cores have really hit him hard, and I think
Yeah.
I think there's a reason that he got voted in the community vote because maybe he was around here, and I yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
That
But
community poll, it's a bit iffy because obviously a lot of people who voted, between him, Skylinks and stuff like that, they may not be top level HQ7 players where they understand pathing issues or just not as effective as other bots can be. And it kind of skewed the poll a bit.
yeah, I would definitely rather have had Hound. Definitely rather have had
Oh,
Hound.
same.
And that will be my. I'm not trying to convince anyone, but no, let's be honest, I am. But yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely be voting for Hound next voting without a doubt, and hopefully it's sooner than later.
Hopefully.
Uh, Chromia next. So the interesting thing was See, I would rate Chromia in good. I'm
Yes.
not too sure she's godly yet. I haven't got my war team, but she's a 4 star, so she's good in outposts and everything else. And then I put this question to my members, and literally it was righteous Chromia. Who else said it? That's Regis again, said it twice. Jazz, SG Soundwave, again said Chromia. So, Rez, aka Risku, said Chromia as well. So a lot of people think she's godly. What do you think?
I think people just hate having her on defense or coming across her. That's basically what it is. I don't see many people use her on the offense. It's mainly just defense. And I'll be honest, myself, it took me ages to get the 4-star. I had a max 3-star Chromia on defense at like
Wow.
level 8, and it
So
did damage. So I was like,
does she go in godly because of that? Because I've got no maxed out
yeah,
three stars.
yeah. I mean, people not only hate her tower, but they hate her stun gun, right?
I mean, I wouldn't, but I can't disagree with how many people think she is. The amount of members
Yeah,
that have gone Chromia, 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 and and even yourself said like you got to max out 3 stars. That's a lot.
yeah,
And she's in my outposts here and there. I
yeah.
sort of change it up a bit depending. I think
I mean,
Rat Trap hurt a
you
bit,
tell
but
me that which other 3-star bot would you max and put on defense at our level?
none. The only
Yeah.
3 star I've got above 50 is Trax. And let's be
Oh,
honest,
true.
if
Yeah, yeah,
prior to the FFDs, Trax would be above Godly. Trax would be up here, so we're up in the
oh yes,
sky.
for sure, for sure.
But with the new FFDs, I'd put him in the good section. But he's the only 3 star that I've got above 50. Maybe I think actually maybe Elita as well. But it gives you an idea on the sort of level we're talking. Um, but I was lucky enough to get Chromia in that leaderboard, and
I didn't
it's
do
the
that
best
one.
choice I've ever done. Best choice I've ever made. It just so happened it was like over lockdown when I was off work. I was like, you know what? I'm on the leaderboard in like 3 years. I'm gonna do one. And I made that decision even before they announced the bot. I was doing that regardless. And when they did, I was like, I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of defense, godly, without a doubt. But
Uh, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I would even say like even now that we're in this big defense era, that Chromia kind of set that standard of making defense hard. Everyone
yeah,
started to scout a little bit earlier or watch more
yep,
replays like where is she and how can I avoid her, or you know putting assets away to like counter her, like I'll use Silver Bolt, cover the map,
yeah,
stunner, she's dead, whatever.
yep, definitely. I can't disagree. Yeah, although I might put her maybe a tiny bit lower, but I can't disagree with my followers that there's so many have said how good she is. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, next up, interesting one.
after
Afterbreaker.
okay.
So when we did testing, Afterbreaker was picked as the new Goldfire, who will be the new sackbot that everyone's using. But I haven't seen him much, to be
I've
honest.
only got a couple of my mates on my team who use Afterbreaker, and just massive range, and you could essentially use one ability, and get the job done. That's all it is. It's not about how much damage this
Yeah.
bot is doing. It's just
I just thought we'd see Afterbreaker everywhere. Everyone that's got Goldfire would be doing Afterbreakers, but it's not as widely used as I thought it'd be. Yeah, there's going to be a few here and there. I know some lower players use it as well, but it's not what I thought it'd be. I thought the meta
no.
would change a bit, but so what do you think about Afterbreaker? Where would you put Afterbreaker personally?
Situational. That's only.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he's got his good uses in popping outposts here and there in
I mean,
certain bases,
at the
but
end of the day, I just see him as a sack bot. That's it.
yeah, I think that's his only use. That's the problem. You've got Rhinox up there as a sackbot. He's got so many different uses though as well. You've got Elita up there, sackbot, so many different uses. Um, but yeah, same with Windblade. They're good as a
Saber.
sackbot, but that's about it. There's no other use outside of that. And like some people have said in the chat, yeah, one ability, pop the outpost, dead, and that's pretty much right. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
keep missing this, but yeah, Afterbreaker is Flame War, and yeah, definitely situation.
And their other only reason to chase Afterbreaker is for Computron.
Yeah, definitely. Talking of Computron, so
Scattershot.
next up, Scattershot. So, what do you
Not
think of
great.
this guy?
Not
Not
great.
great. Kills me. One of my favorites in the lore. I love the Headmasters cartoon,
Yeah.
the Rebirth. Not the Headmasters cartoon, sorry, the Headmasters episode at the end, the Rebirth, and I've made no, I know a lot of people hate that. My favorite. So a lot of the people in that, I love the likes of him and the likes of Hardhead and all the Headmasters. I'd love to see Headmasters in the game, and So Scattershot's got a bit of a a soft spot for me, and when I saw him in the game, I was really excited. It was the start of Computron? Oh no, it was the last spot for Computron. It completed Computron.
Yeah,
Chased this guy to hell, and then when I got him, and obviously in testing,
yeah.
I
Bit
wasn't that
meh.
impressed. I don't even think it's situational, sadly. It's a
Yeah,
shame.
just not great stats. Sorry, not great stats overall, and ability is just not. It's not nothing special.
Grandtimes put the Scattershot will be a great 5-star. Do you agree?
No.
I don't think so. I think it need a buff.
Yeah.
I think it as a 5-star, it might get to be. It wouldn't be good. Situational, I think. Yeah, it needs something serious. But yeah, not a big fan. I've got his 4-star. It's at level 51, just in case. But yeah, such a change. And I agree with Jason Rowley. He's put that Scattershot would have been great as a triple changer. And I agree. I thought
So
it would be. When I seen
yeah,
that, I thought, yeah, it'd be a triple changer because he's got 3 modes
that's what I
in
thought
that
too.
episode, and was
Yeah.
really. I think they really missed a trick with that. But yeah, but then again, would he be a triple changer like double dealer? But,
Well, that's exactly right. You kind of
eh,
moving on.
yeah, less the better. Next up, we've got Hoist. So an
Hoist.
interesting one. So obviously, Engineer Hoist's namesake. So what do you think of Hoist?
I like him. He's
Really?
like straight away good.
Wow.
Now
Okay.
now for me, this comes down to my play style, right? So he, not him, or him and Springer are my healers.
Ah.
Simple as
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Because on a walk team, Hoist giving that healing plus the extra damage boost, it's so good for like a player that likes to play fast attacking style. And you don't have like if I've cleared a lot of the map, putting this guy in with a walk team, that's all you need. And that's how Springer fits the bill. Putting my Cronus on him, he's simply like I've got a guy that maxed him out, loves him every day in Prime League, great bot.
See, I think you are sort of the master of the underrated bots, really. I mean, I do go a lot for meta bots. There's not many bots that I have that people don't think are meta. But I know you
I
like
think
Air
that
Raid,
yeah,
Hoist, bots
oh yeah,
like this, you know.
I do, and I think that's a benefit of obviously us being testers as well, right? We get to really push things that you wouldn't have the resources in the real world to test, and it's a bit of a shame too because people would have a lot of the 4-star versions and not invest any because they don't have that information to back up. Oh, he's gonna be good if I invest, and they're just worried that if they invest, it's going to be a bad choice. They're going to regret it, get angry, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it took me watching one of my players who uses Hoist to be like, you know what, that fits my play style. I don't like healers. He's shooting his normal DPS, offers a heal through his SA, throw my Cronus on him, healer. That's
Hmm.
it.
And next up, Grapple. So, where would you put Grapple? Interesting one, this one.
Oh, during testing, I had high hopes in this guy. I really did, but he just did not pan out. Not great.
Whoa, really? Do you not think
Uh,
he's better than Rook?
no. Well, I mean, look, the mines attract just like a hologram does, but the holograms don't. So the Rook's hologram will do more damage than Grapple's mines, and I look at it from a stats perspective only. That also Grapple doesn't have as much high health. Um,
I
I
thought he was up there
mean,
with Rook. I mean, I would put Rook between good and godly. That's where I would
It's
put Rook.
well, the difference being that Grapple's mines don't pop ops, and ops
True,
won't.
true.
And you got to look at it from a what's the word for it, but like a usable situation, right? Like, so if you're using a bot's SA, are you using it properly for the right reasons, or just because you have him and that's all you got? If Grapple was all you had and you didn't have like a Rook, Narcy, whatever, sure, great. But he's not going to go above them or even
Well,
next to them.
I'm gonna say something here now that might change your mind a bit. So when we talked about play styles, about
Yeah.
protection,
Oh,
for
true.
me, he's huge. And the only reason I didn't level Grapple is because I've got Rook, but I think they're very similar. And like I said, for me, Rook is up here. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's got to be. somewhere around here, I think, because I think in terms of protecting your bait, protecting your team, he's as good as Rook, surely. Like, he's up there. So I don't think we can put him down here. I don't think we can
at
put
best,
him.
I'd probably put good situational halfway line
I'll
as a
compromise.
compromise.
I'll compromise at that. Yeah. I mean, I think he's got very good value. I wouldn't be disappointed in him. I'd definitely level him. If I didn't have
Yeah,
Rook, I would level this guy and put him straight in my team as a 4-star. But then as soon as, I mean, I was contemplating using both until the 5-star came out. I was like, right, that's it. I'm sold now. I'm going for 5-star Rook, even though my 4-star was like level 63.9, I think it was. And I've
yeah.
used Rook for like the last 2 years now, and I think his mine's got great value. And I'm, I might be wrong. Is his mine his mine was indestructible in testing? Was that right? I think. And then we've
Um,
scaled it back. Was it? I think because it was too
yeah. I mean,
powerful.
it was too powerful, obviously, but that's why we became. Chromia's tower and Grapple's mind had a countdown timer on it, and they were the only two to get
Yeah.
that visual effect, just for you know to make it easier on the players as well.
So is it still
But
indestructible now though? It's not, is it?
no,
It
no,
takes damage.
I think
Yeah.
you can destroy it, and I think that's the other
Yeah.
thing too. Like the mines don't have super great health, so you can throw it out there. If you've got five weapons hitting it, it's a quick
Hmm.
gone.
Yeah. We'll settle for there between good and situational. I think it's got value. I wouldn't say not great person. I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I would definitely say yeah, not quite Rook. Okay, so now we've got Beast Wars Prowl next up.
Um, I put him as just an upgraded version of Cheetah.
See, I'd put him as a downgrade version of Cheetor personally. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
well,
because
that's
I've got Cheetor already, and I look at bots like Grapple, look at bots like that, and I'm going, well, that bot's too similar to the bot I've already got, so I
yeah.
don't see the point in spending money on leveling that guy.
No. And that's what I
So
mean. It's just a Beast Wars version of Cheetah. Like
yeah,
in terms of a leader, obviously they're both Beast Wars, but like he's a leader class, but he still doesn't make you want him, right? Like it's I don't know. If you want the new combiner, sure, but he's not. I don't see him being good on a war team
so situational along with Cheetor, I'd
at
think.
best. Yeah,
You
I
think
mean,
even
I'd
there
even
maybe?
put him in. Yeah, halfway,
Yeah,
halfway.
yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's yeah. I'm not a big fan
It's a bit
personally.
sad. It's a bit sad because
Yeah,
given how much the storyline of the game, they made the council this big hoo ha, and yeah, I just wasn't wowed by Prowl. I mean, I like the elephant, but not Prowl.
no. Okay, Optimal next. Where do we put this guy? This is a bit of an interesting one as well. What do you think of this
Yeah,
guy?
look, during testing, it seemed to be pretty decently, but you kind of need that amalgamous effect. Sort of
Again.
a bit like Sentius, where he can do a lot of damage, in a small amount of area, but he needs Amalgamus to stay alive. He goes ahead on his little surfboard thing, but he will get into trouble. I mean, you could solo 14 with him
So
with
does he go over
Amalgamus.
Sentius, you think?
Um,
Situational?
I, I'm putting
Between?
him halfway. I'm putting him halfway between good and situational
Yeah.
because not just that, but his core, that golden disc, it's very hard to get as well.
Mm.
So you've kind of got to sacrifice a good prime core just to have him on the team. And I think when you're looking where you put your prime cores, which are very important, just Optimus doesn't fit in that.
No, yeah. I was disappointed in testing. And I voiced that, and then the apes were like, no, we're fine with it.
Do you
And
remember how big a range he had? He had like bloody half the map range.
yeah, I just, I don't know. I just don't think the final product was that good. And this is one of the few bots where, again, I look back and think we maybe did a bit of an injustice. I think there's quite a few bots that we look. I mean, it says a lot. I've talked a lot about last year and about Chromia being one of the only real good bots from last year, and I think that says a lot up to now. That you're looking at bots that have been around the game for quite a while. I mean, Late Octopus got a buff to be fair, but Rhinox got a buff
Yeah,
to be fair, but the likes of Chromia Blaster got a buff to be fair, but these sort of bots, they've been around. He got a buff as well, but other than
he did.
that,
Yeah,
there's most of these bots have been around for quite a long time. Hoist is up
Yeah,
there. But
nothing's jumping out as a godly bot from the
yeah,
start.
I think we're being a bit too cautious personally. I mean, we could talk about that another day, like again, but
Yeah,
I'm just making a point that all these new bots are sort of seeing. We sort of need to push them up there a bit. But yeah, I agree with that really.
yeah.
And then Blur. What do you think of Blur? I mean, there was a lot
So
of people in
I
test who were
don't.
really impressed with him, but I don't
I
know.
was too. And look. To be honest, not being a sack player myself. For those who don't like to adapt, and I know there's a lot out there right now, but Blur will help the sack players. Simple as that. He gets past their minds, and so he's very good as a sack bot.
As well, you think good,
Yeah,
borderline
not
godly, or
no. Well, to be honest, to the sack players, he's going to be godly. That's how good he is. But as a, you know, overall, he's only good. You're not putting him in an outpost. You're not doing solo runs with him,
well, if he's
stuff
only
like
a
that.
sack bot, is he there along with the likes of Windblade and the likes of Afterbreaker?
It's only because given how the defense meta is currently, and he can bypass that. That's why he goes into that good category for me personally. And to say that
Hmm,
I don't even use him, but I see how he can be used. Um, and yeah, that's just how I see him.
okay. And someone's pointed out in the chat that there is actually two bots missing from this,
Oh,
which I'm quite embarrassed to say, but yeah. And that is Hot Rod.
hot
First
rod,
off, where do we
hot
put
rod.
Hot Rod? I could go and get his thing dead quick, his picture dead quick, but I won't. But
For pre the FFD core fix, I had him in godly.
yeah, I even think still up there. I still see guys using him.
Yeah,
It's a
same.
bit more
I
base
got guys that
dependent.
are using him.
I'd like to go get the actual picture of it and put it up there, but I put Hot Rod up here and Godly. I
Yeah,
really would. I'm
the,
still debating going back to batch one. This is batch
I
one that's been in
pulled.
the game
Yeah,
for 5 years.
I mean
I
everyone.
would chance getting this guy to get him. That says a lot.
Yeah, I went back and I pulled the rest of batch one just to get him. I
Yeah.
pulled Grimlock, pulled Sunstreaker. It's just like, no, I just want Hot Rod. And he was 111. So
Yep.
he jumped the queue pretty fast.
So do we agree that Hot Rod Godly? Do you agree?
Yeah, if you play him correctly and take out FFD cores, yeah, he's godly.
Even at 1 to 10 as a 4 star, even maybe. Do we put him between Godly and
No,
Good for that reason,
no,
or?
you've got to have that SA11 to give that second bot that immunity.
See, if we're talking at our level, then we could maybe put Elita down there, maybe, and likes of that. But we're talking sort of
True.
over the whole game. So does Hot Rod sort of go in between maybe then? Because he is godly at our level. At the max, he's godly. But less than that, he's round here maybe. So yeah, godly
At the
good.
very le- at the very least, godly good. But if played well, godly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and I think people in the chat saying, yeah, Nemesis or Hot Rod with SA11 are godly. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, I can't deny that. But that's the point that you've got to be 11 to make him godly, which is a lot of spark for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I'd say godly good. And then last of all, Ultra Magnus.
Who?
The forgotten bot. That's what I've started calling him, the forgotten bot, because
Yeah,
he is awful. I mean, like,
not great. I'm putting him straight in that
oh,
not great category.
yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I had a forgotten bot section along with the likes of Power Glide. And was you in the chat when I fought for Power Glide about getting him a buff?
Um,
I
no,
don't
I
think you
don't think I was at the
was.
time,
Yeah,
no.
well, you've seen how much of a fuss I kick up sometimes, and that was definitely a point for me when he got his SA11. I just said this guy needs fixing, and when they changed it just so that his bombs can go anywhere rather than just in defense, I was like, that's
Yeah,
not fixing him. Uh,
no.
Ultra Magnus not great. So what do you think he needs? Why is he not great? Why is he down there so bad?
I mean, look, overall, so good health.
Yeah,
Okay DPS, which is standard for a tank. Um, it's just I think his SA is too expensive for a one unit or one defense attack. I think it starts at 7 or something like that, and it's just too expensive. I think there's just a lot more other abilities from other bots you would rather use than use Ultra Magnus. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think it's very
I mean,
close. I think.
yeah, even the 5 star, it's just not like from that batch. I've only got Sludge, and I'm like, that's all I need to get.
Yeah, I mean, from what batch? No, that's batch four. Batch three's
No,
Ultimate
that's
Magnus,
oh,
isn't it? Batch three. Yeah, batch three. Yeah, I had to think myself then. Batch three. But that's batch with Jazz, Firefly, Cheetor.
oh no, I got Springer. I got Springer. That's right.
Yeah, that's Springer's the only bot out of that batch that I actually like. But for me, I think a big point of UM as well is his pathing. It's very unforgiving, and
Yeah,
he's slightly ranged than a melee bot. He's not quite a melee bot. I think that matters a lot for me. And
yeah,
I think you couple the fact that he's a ranged bot, so his path is really hard. We talked about how important path it is. We agreed on that. That pathing is so important at our level. And I was talking to a couple of members the other day about pathing, explaining how it's absolutely vital in the current meta
so
in terms of
important.
walks and
And
understanding pathing.
I hate well, I hate seeing that people who are not great at pathing kind of get frustrated at the game, and it's we spoke about it the other day, and it's disappointing because once you honestly unlock pathing, your gameplay it changes completely,
Agreed.
right? It changes the way that you select a team. From where you drop on a pad, drop on a pad, what abilities you use. It's a game changer. So yeah, I just wish
Yeah.
people could do a bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I think couple the fact that it is expensive, that the range isn't good, the damage isn't that good really for what your cost is, coupled with his pathing. I just think there's too many boxes that it doesn't tick. Too many bad
No,
boxes. Like it's like all these sort of tick boxes that we sort of set ourselves for bots, and it doesn't tick any of them, and ticks a lot of
no.
the boxes that we consider bad for bots. And I think that's a
I
big
don't even know
problem.
how you could save him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that even if they increase the damage, the problem is similar to Sunstreaker that it's not guaranteed damage. So it depends on how many rockets hit as well, and it's spread out. And
Yeah.
so I think just everything, the random damage with the short range, with the high cost, with the poor pathing, all these in one bot, and there's a reason that people don't want him, and there's a reason
Tell me
that
something. Do you reckon if Ultra Magnus did like 10,000 damage, do you reckon he'd still be all right?
no,
No,
if he could one shot an MDS, I think that it
even
no.
that. No.
I was thinking, what if they increased his range and increased the damage to one shot an MDS with 1.5 times his range?
If you did, what do you
I'm
reckon if you
still
did
struggling then.
like from a lore perspective, he's got the missiles, right? And if you did long range and then you did short range, different targets, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But
Sure.
yeah, that
So,
sums it up. So Ultra Magnus sits in the not great category along with Grimlock, Huffer, Hound, Vamp, and Scattershot. So, if you pull them sort of bots, guys, considering we've got Grimlock down there as a 5 star, I think that says a lot.
yeah.
But can think twice about leveling them bots and don't put too much spark into them guys at the minute. But obviously, yeah, you can see from the top there, Blaster, Gnaw, Cup, Laser Optimus, Elita, Impactor, Rhinox, and Chromia, then you could literally go mad with those guys. And once you get them, level them up as quick as you can. I think a good thing about Chromia as well is you don't need to put Spark into that bad. I think mine's at 62.7. I think mine is. It still works. The damage is sort of secondary. That stun is incredible. So, I think Chromia definitely belongs in that godly section. And yeah, I think although we have difference of opinions, I think we've got a good set there. I think we sort of agree mostly on, the sort of where most of these bots sit. So yeah, if you want to see more of these guys, I mean, we planned on maybe doing a gunner one as well, doing one about triple changes and healers and all
that
warriors and
that'll
we
be a
could even
fun
do
one.
combats. We could do listen, it's endless what we can do with these. We can review it next year as well. So if you want to see more of these guys with me and text viewing all these classes, then stick it in the chat, guys. Stick it in the comments, just saying, yeah, why don't you try Gunners next. Why don't you try Warriors next? Let us know what you'd like us to try next, guys. But yeah, huge thank you for Tex for joining me.
Thanks.
Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me on. Yeah.
Hope to have you on the channel again, and we can do this all over again with a totally different class of bots. And yeah, it won't be as long for sure. But you know, it's been good. It's been fun. It's been you know, it's good to have a bit of insight into the way you play the game as well, and some bots that I think there's some bots in there that I'm looking at. I'm thinking, you know, I might actually give them a go, like the likes of Hoist. You know, who I sort of written off maybe, and you see value in it, so I might actually give him a go, level him up, try him in some teams, and yeah, try him out. I'll try Hoist, and you try Grapple.
I'll try him on the test account, then I'll invest.
Okay, okay. Yeah, well, again, thank you, big thank you for everyone for tuning in. Big thank you for Tex for joining me. And yeah, like I said, don't forget to hit a like on the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. Don't forget to join Tex's line chats, which I will put in the comments. And yeah, we will hopefully see you again soon. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday where I cover the newsletter and all the new features in the game. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you again soon. Cheers for watching, guys. Peace out.